Right here it says 12/27/50. So this lathe was built December 27, 1950. So that would make it, it had a 55-year birthday just a couple of months ago. So that's how old my lathe is. It's nice to know some of its character. Using Easy Off oven cleaner as a paint stripper. I think you're supposed to let it set a pretty long time. I've only let it set for, I don't know, an hour or so. And it's got, a lot of the paint has come off. What's still there feels a little gummy or rubbery underneath. So we'll let it work for a while longer. I'm all torn up about whether to return this to its original color or paint it red. I've seen some red Atlas lathes and they're beautiful. Look at that, I think it's down to the metal now. Okay, here's the base of the tailstock after one treatment with Easy Off. There's a grayish paint under here, which I'm sure is the original color of the machine. I don't know, it's growing on me. The green here was when it was repainted at some later time. Both look like machine colors to me. Still thinking about red. So I'm cleaning these off. I'm going to spray another coat of the Easy Off on them and not look at them again until the morning. I think it's working really pretty well. It's amazing to see that nice machine surface under the grime. Brought a bucket of hot water out into the shop. I've been using Easy Off as a paint stripper, which seems to be relatively effective at getting rid of the outer coat of green paint. And it softens the inner layer of gray paint, which I believe was the factory original paint. I purchased paint today. I decided on red. I could still change my mind. I haven't opened it. Went to Tractor Supply. I'd read online in one of the forums that several people said they used that. I'm very pleased with the results. Kerosene used for lubricating threading and such doesn't eat the paint off, and easy to apply, economical to purchase, etc., etc. I guess the hardener that you use with it is optional, but it has some health risks, and from what I read, I just think I'm just going to use it without the hardener. I still have to figure out where I'm going to do this, where it'll be warm. I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure it needs to be some reasonable temperature where you do this. And I have little bits of gray paint left over here. I don't know if I should just paint over those or continue working to get them off. Probably continue to working to get them off. This is part of the cross slide assembly. This is actually the top slide, so the compound slide. You know, a lathe is not that complicated of a machine. I hate to tear it all apart, but the more I go, the more I want to go. Let's see, is there anything else in the muddy bucket? Oh, yes. Chip guard. I'm going to leave this gray color underneath the chip guard just in case I ever have regrets later for changing the color to red. I'll always be able to have a sample reference of the correct color. And there's a little bit of the green that was on it. There's a limit to the value of these lathes, and it's established mostly by the condition that it's in and the tooling that it comes with. And I've never heard anybody mention that they valued a lathe more highly or less highly because of the color that was on it. I've seen pictures of them in like Chevy bluish green. I think red was a factory color at one time or another. Don't quite have the history of that. Got some caulking or something in this tool. What else we got? Bottom slide. Or the cross slide. You can see the paint's kind of laying up there like mud. I have a volunteer effort. It's going to take up my time for the next 2 days. I won't get to work on this. I run an event for my model airplane club called the Midwest Model-Rama. A lot of people help me with it. And it's our fundraising effort. And that's going to take up, setup's going to take up my day tomorrow, getting ready and setting up. And Saturday it starts wee hours early in the morning. And I'll be exhausted when I get home, so I don't think I'll have the energy to touch this. So I've been trying to do a little something every day. Even if it's just 20 minutes, which is probably about all I'm going to put into it tonight. Then as I find little things I need, I order them. I'm behind on video editing. I've got a lot of content for YouTube. I've just been so excited about doing projects that I haven't done any of that work. Since this is a lathe and it's been covered in oil its whole life, I'll clean it thoroughly. I'll probably clean it in soapy water one time, which would probably be good enough, but I'll rinse everything off with brake clean after that. Now we got this big honking thing, a tailstock. The tailstock's seen 2 treatments. I'll have my Mr. Muscle Cleaner tomorrow, which is what they seem to recommend on the forums for this, which is a commercial, or I should say institutional oven cleaner. Whew, boy, this thing's heavy. I should be doing this up on a workbench instead of working on the floor like a freaking squirrel. I'm anxious to see how the highly touted Mr. Muscle works. I'll probably do the main carriage with that. You know, I sure would like to use my lathe. That's why I brought it home. Some storage. And now I've got it all tore apart. I've started a big project. But then again, it'll be so satisfying to see it done. Well, I think the Easy Off as an oven strip, or as a paint stripper, works pretty well. I've read where people leave it on for 24 hours, but I don't really see any difference in its performance after about an hour. It develops, kind of looks dry up on top, kind of develops like a little, I don't want to say eggshell, but just some kind of crusty upper surface. Looks crusty, it's really wet when you touch it. But once it gets to that condition, it's, I think, pretty well done all it's going to do. I don't know what green paint's doing down here. I know what it is. Somebody painted this thing without taking the tailstock apart. Okay, I'll dry this off. Get all these things kind of spot coated again with the remaining easy off. Maybe they'll be perfect when I come back to it in a couple days.